My name is CHIEF Dele Momodu. I have so many names. Ojutelegan, Ajani, Ajigbotosho, Oluwaseun, Abayomi Oluwanioje, Momodu. I'm the publisher and editor-in-chief of Ovation International Magazine, chairman of the Ovation Media Group, comprising of Ovation International Magazine, the Boss newspapers, Ovation Television, and Ovation Books. Ovation Magazine did not start in 1996, though the first edition or the first issue came out in 1996. I had conceived of the idea as far back as 1991 when I lost my job as the editor of Classic magazine. I had wanted to do a magazine that would reflect the rich and famous, their lifestyles and things like that. But unfortunately, I couldn't raise the funds. And somewhere along the line, I gave up. In 1995, July 22nd, to be precise, I got tipped off that I was going to be arrested by the military government of General Sani Abacha. And of course, I had to take cover, immediate cover. On the 25th of July, 1995, I managed to escape from my country, Nigeria, and I had to go through what was known as the Nadeko route or the smuggler's route from Seme border in Nigeria into Cotonou in Benin Republic. I was so scared of Abacha that I did not even stop in Cotonou. I moved to Togo, and from Togo, I went to Ghana. That was my first point of contact with Ghana. I was there for 3 nights, and on the 28th of July, I left Ghana aboard British Airways to London and arrived London Gatwick in the morning of 29th July. I thought it was going to be a brief sojourn. I never planned to live outside my country. After a couple of months, a young cousin of mine named Segun Fatoye asked me one afternoon. We went for lunch in his house. And he said, "What are you going to be doing in London now?" And I said, "I don't know." He said, "How can you say you don't know, Egmo? If you are not careful, you will wash plates or even wash dead bodies in London." And I said, "No, it's not my portion." But that was what triggered, this journey towards Ovation. He then told me, "But you were a damn good journalist back home in Nigeria, so why don't you start something?" But I remember what my mom used to tell me. My mom was an unlettered woman who told me that money says if it is not at home, let no man make any plan in its absence. So I told him, how are we going to raise the money? He said, but let's try first. So we did our business plan, and it was going to cost £150,000 to start the quality of magazine we wanted, small scale. Of course, if you sold our family from first generation to the last generation, we couldn't come up with that kind of money. My uncle, Chief Ezekiel Olasumoye Fatoye, God bless him, God bless him. I'm sure he's somewhere in this audience tonight. I don't know what prompted him. His son just mentioned to him that this is what Bros D is trying to do, and he needs all the help. And this man emptied his personal savings. He advanced us with the first £10,000, with which we started Ovation. Chief Fatoye, I thank you, sir. I thank you. A friend of mine, also my colleague, we were living together, and I told him my concept, and he brought out his thesaurus, and we were looking at different names, just searching, and we saw Kerst, we saw Glitterati, then we saw Ovation. I just said, Ovation! I love that. Loud for a purpose. And that was how it started. Of course, we had to plan our first issue. I learned something from my former editor at Weekend Concord, Mr. Mike Awuyifa. He said, if you don't get your first issue right, you are doomed. As I said, Muhammad Al-Fayed was the very first one. Seal was the second. The boxer Chris Eubank, Oswald Boateng, of course Chief Fernandez, Chief Moshood Abiola. 10 years after his death, we did something major. I mean, he was my adopted father. He showed me the way. We've done, of course, Chief Razak Okoya. We've had women as well. We had Mrs. Folorunsho Alakija's 60th birthday. That was fantastic. We had Mrs. Bola Shagaya. In fact, she did a couple of special editions where she took over the magazine completely, the weddings of our children. We had Fifi Ejindu, who had a wedding at the Dorchester on Park Lane in London. I mean, that was absolutely ravishing. We also have Fifi Ejindu again when she did her 50th birthday in Dubai. I mean, at the Burj Al Arab. It was incredible. Everybody was there. We've had former President Olusegun Obasanjo and his late wife, Mrs. Stella Obasanjo. I mean, that was one of our best covers, taken by the famous Yugoslav photographer, Dragan Miki.
Dragan Miki is a photographer born in Yugoslavia who moved to England 32 years ago and who started working for Ovation in year 2000 and who enjoys taking pictures. One of the covers that spring to mind is a cover of President Obasanjo with his wife, Stella Obasanjo. We liked this cover very much. There was a very recent cover of former President of Ghana, Mr. John Dramani Mahama, which I liked very much. It was taken in a beautiful surrounding, in a beautiful country.
If you call a magazine Ovation, it cannot be anything but flamboyant. It's a luxury item. Every day people say, oh, you are not writing about poor people, you are not writing about... And I tell them that Ovation is a luxury item. We carved a niche for ourselves. The day I want to do a magazine about poor people, I will call it Poverty Magazine or whatever. And if I don't do it, it's also an opportunity for other people to do it. Before Ovation, the classic definition of good news is bad news. If everybody believed that if you did not write junk, you cannot sell.
News is celebrating Africa because we started from the point of saying, look, there's so much news about disease, war, you see children with flies all over their mouths. That's not Africa. That's not the Africa that we know. That's not the Africa that we live in. So we started from that standpoint that what can we do to change this narrative? So we've always wanted to sell. For us, anywhere you're celebrating, anywhere you're having good things to show, anything that you're doing that shows what we call the joie de vivre, that is where Ovation is. That's what we do. We try to show that Africans are just more than war, we are more than disease. We can celebrate, we are brilliant, we are interesting people, we are colorful, we are glamorous. So that's what Ovation is. That's what news is for us.
Everybody wants to keep Ovation. Nobody throws Ovation. Ovation is an eternal product. You will never see it where they are selling granules. No. So we targeted the right people, those who love quality, those who love good life, those who have worked hard. If you work hard, you will be in Ovation. And we had a slogan, if your event has not appeared in Ovation, you may have to do it again. About 10 years ago, we decided that we must also give something back to the society that has given us so much. To whom much is given, much is expected. We started the Ovation Red Carol. And I must salute the courage of one man, Mr. Tony Elumelu, the group chairman of the United Bank for Africa. We call them the Global Bank. I went to only two companies, Glo and UBA. Both of them wanted it, but UBA got it first. And since then, you will not believe it, it's been UBA, Glo, UBA, Glo, until we got a foundation this year This is the first time a foundation will be involved in what we do. What is it you do in Ovation? We sing carol to God. We do charity. For the first time this year, we have all kinds of competitions. This year, we thank the Esther Ajayi Foundation for having the vision to share our platform and to say, hey, we've been doing things, but we want to even do it bigger than we've ever done it. And in this audience tonight, we're proud, we're privileged to have the founder and the prime mover of the Esther Ajayi Foundation, Reverend Mother Abimbola Esther Ajayi. God bless her. God bless her. Today, we have every reason to thank God Almighty. We have every cause to thank all our benefactors, too numerous to mention, without offending anyone. If you are watching us live from the Eco Convention Center in Lagos, we want to tell you how much you have touched our lives, how much you have touched so many souls. It is not how much Ovation has made that matters. It is how much Ovation has done for others. Because when God lifts you up, you must also lift others up. And tonight is our night of Thanksgiving. 21 years of publishing Ovation. 10 years of making contributions to charity, developing African talents. What more can we ask for? On a personal note, I've been married for 25 years. In 2 days' time, I'll be celebrating my 25th wedding anniversary. On a personal note, my wife will be 50 just in a few days' time. One of my sons will be 20 on Christmas Day. How much can God show how much He loves you when you give birth to a child the same day as Jesus Christ? I mean, I'm blessed. And I thank you all. And I pray that God Almighty will touch you wherever you are tonight.